Well, good morning, everybody. Again, it is time for our morning devotional. And our devotional this morning is entitled No More Sin. And our devotional verse is from the book of Revelation, chapter 21, verses 2 through 4. And I saw the holy city, New Jerusalem, coming down out of heaven from God, prepared as a bride, adorned for her husband. And I heard a loud voice from the throne saying, Behold, the dwelling place of God is with man. He will dwell with them, and they will be his people, and God himself will be with them as their God. He will wipe away every tear from their eyes, and death shall be no more. Neither shall there be mourning, nor crying, nor pain any more, for the former things have passed away. You know, everybody loves a good second chance. In sports, business, and life, there's a thing we like to call it a do-over, where we get a second chance to do a thing, and we hope that we do it differently. In golf, that free do-over shot, it's called a mulligan. My friends, for those who are God's children and are heaven-bound, someday we're going to get the biggest do-over ever. And, now would be a good time to mention that God is not getting a do-over here. The events in the tapestry of creation, from the creation of the heavens and the earth to the creation of the new heaven and the new earth, transpired just exactly as God planned. He does not need a second chance to fix what he did, because God did nothing wrong. He planned everything from the beginning. So this do-over is not for God, it's for us. Why God created humankind with the free will to sin and rebel is one of the biggest transcendental questions ever. But he did, and we messed things up. Adam and Eve could have chosen righteousness or sin, and they chose sin. And we became bound to sin and slaves to it. While even lost sinners can do the right things, they are still bound by sin and unable to truly choose righteousness. Now, what happens when we are saved? Well, while we most certainly do not stop sinning immediately, what changes is what we want. What changes is what we want. We still wander through this life having to decide between right and wrong, but as saved children of God, we should be desiring the right. Then one day the former things will pass away. God will create a new heaven and a new earth, and he and his will dwell there forever. We will live for eternity in a place with no pain, no death, no sin, and nothing but joy. My friends, that is a mighty do-over. Does God also wipe out our free will in the new heaven and the new earth? It doesn't really seem that way. We will, however, be fully sanctified and be like Jesus. Also, the devil and his rebel demons will not be around, having been cast into the lake of fire, and will not be there to place temptation in the way. I read a quote on a website I like to reference sometime for study. It's called Got Questions. I don't usually quote others in these devotionals, but I'm going to this morning because this subject can be confusing, and this fella summed it up pretty good. He said this: before salvation, our free will on earth is limited by our inability to choose what is right. After salvation, our free will struggles between choosing what is right and what is wrong. And in heaven, our free will is limited by our inability to choose what is wrong. Our glorified state will allow us to exercise our free will in choosing what is true, noble, right, pure, lovely, and admirable. I can't wait to be a resident in the new heaven and the new earth. What about you? Have a great day in the Lord, my friends.